So every single morning, I start by doing some research and reading on the NFL, and I happen to be looking at the Detroit Lions today, and I saw this mailbag, and the first thing on it was, should the Lions go offense at pick 6 and of course 18? And nobody said yes. I wouldn't even go as far as saying offense twice. One of two I think makes sense here because the Lions, they had a top 5 scoring offense. But a lot of people seem to forget that injuries exist, regression exists. Also, free agency exists. DJ Chark, Jamal Williams, are these guys coming back? Hopefully, because Chark was great at the end of the season. He earned that contract that he got. He's probably not, though. A team is definitely going to give him more money than the Lions are because they've got Jamison Williams, they've got Josh Reynolds and Amon-Ra St. Brown, all these picks. I just find it unlikely that they're going to bring him back. Jamal Williams is just too much of a leader in the locker room to not. But I was looking at some statistics and it had me thinking that of the past 22 teams who reached the Super Bowl, 21 of them had an offense ranked 14th or better. 6 of those teams made the Super Bowl despite having a defense ranked 15th or worse. So to that statistic, it had me thinking the Lions defense in terms of scoring was 11th in the league through weeks 9 all the way up to 18. Remember that, 11th. Now they did give up the 3rd most yards per game and they couldn't stop the run. So I'm not just going to ignore that stat. There's bias in this video, but I'm looking at both sides here. But isn't that why you have the 6th pick? You have the 6th pick to get the best guy up front that you can. Also free agency. The Lions have a ton of money. Deron Payne's a free agent. You have tons of players all across the board that can help stop the run. But you know who the Lions can't get in free agency? They're not going to be able to trade for is Bijan Robinson. I mean, he is a top 5 player in this class. He's a 3-down back. Somebody left a comment in my video the other day, and they were like, remember when Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl and Todd Gurley was the running back? They were unstoppable. The Detroit Lions now become unstoppable offensively with Bijan Robinson. And before you tell me that running back isn't an issue, first of all, that's incorrect because Jamal Williams is a free agent. DeAndre Swift has not been able to stay healthy. And think of it this way. The Lions did use a 2nd-round pick on DeAndre Swift, and obviously it hasn't worked out. But isn't that even more of a reason to get Bijan? Because now you don't have to pay Swift, or you could keep Swift, give him limited touches, and literally get the best possible out of Swift. Imagine Swift being the 3rd running back on this team. Jamal Williams can still get a ton of work. Bijan obviously would get the most of it, but now you're mixing in 3 different running backs. You got a full year of Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Both of these guys, Williams came back late in the season. St. Brown missed games. The offensive line is healthy. They definitely need a guard, but again, a lot of people sleep on these mid-round picks because the thing is for the Lions is I think a lot of fans just look at the 1st round and they're like, okay, we're going to use both of our picks on defense because that's what we need. It doesn't matter who it is, just get some type of player. But if the value isn't there, why would you do that? I mean, if I were to ask Lions fans right now, who do you want at 6? If I were to ask them, who do you want at 18? I mean, you know how all over the place the poll would be? The truth is, we don't know what is expected out of any of those guys. And that's the thing about the draft is you just don't know what you're getting. That's why interviews are so important. But I'm looking at Bijan Robinson and I'm saying that he's one of the greatest running back prospects of all time. Whoever gets him is getting a playmaker. You're not getting Bijan Robinson and he's a bust. Unless he's injured or something. And sure, running backs 4 or 5 years, that might be it. But the Lions have never won a Super Bowl. When was the last time the Lions won the division? Oh, wait. They've never won the division. So if you can get a playmaker, you know you're getting who you're getting. You know you're getting a playmaker. You know you're getting someone who takes your top 5 offense. At the very worst, it would remain top 5, but at the very best, it becomes the best. And with the Lions defense getting better, yeah, weeks 9 through 18, it went from 32nd in terms of points allowed to 11th. So the defense was improving. You've got studs all around, James Houston, you've got Malcolm Rodriguez, Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, Tracy Walker's coming back, Jeff Okudah was playing some of the best football of his career, and then he got hit with an injury. Jeff Okudah's a good corner. I still don't understand the Jeff Okudah slander. Sure, he hasn't lived up to where he was drafted, but he was playing good football last season. He's not a number 1 corner by any means, but again, that's why you have the 6th pick. There's a lot of corners in this draft. You could wait in the 2nd and 3rd round if you want for a corner. The priority for the Lions definitely has to be help against the run defense. But I'm more than willing to be like, hey, let's address the run defense in free agency, and then let's use the draft on players that legit are game changers. Now at 6 in the draft, I wouldn't say there's any offensive game changer. Line, I mean, you're not going to take a tackle and move him over to guard because the best linemen in this class are tackles. So I don't think that seems realistic. There's no receiver that you're taking at that range. I mean, if it was Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson type of prospect, I'd be like, hey, pay him with St. Brown, Jameson Williams. That's kind of crazy. That's right. You guys took Sewell over Justin Fields. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, obviously quarterback is not happening at 6. If Bryce Young or CJ Stroud fell there, I wouldn't hate it. But the Lions are in the point in time now where they're trying to win the division. They're trying to even go farther than that. I mean, the division is the minimum for the Lions. They're trying to compete for a Super Bowl. I mean, they were 8-2 at the end of the season. The only teams better than that were the Chiefs, who went 9-1, the Bengals, who were 9-1, and the Niners were 10-0. If I'm correct on that, I think I have that written down. The Bengals were 8-0. The Niners were 9-0, and the Chiefs were 9-1. Okay, there. Good thing I wrote that down because I would have butchered it. So yeah, I mean, this is a team who it's just all about development and culture. And if they can draft legit a 3-down back who broke the record for most missed tackles in a season, it's only going to make them even more deadlier. And the Detroit Lions technically were a top 10 DVOA team in defense. But I don't really like that stat because so are the Seahawks. I mean, you can have a below average defense and be top 10 in DVOA. So I'm not looking too much into that, but I don't think the Lions have a bad defense. The Panthers game was an exception. They got absolutely obliterated in that. But outside of that, I mean, they did a lot of good things. And they've got a defensive coordinator who has the guys playing very hard and puts them in the right position. Aaron Glenn, of course. The Lions, they need to focus on playmakers in the draft, guys who can put them over the top rather than be safe, because there's just way too much competition in the NFL right now. I mean, the NFC is wide open. You've got Seattle, the Niners, the Eagles, Cowboys. There's a lot of talent. The Vikings and Packers aren't going anywhere, assuming Rodgers is back. So why not take a running back at 18? And this is going to sound really corny, but I'm going to say it anyway. I was just doing a draft with 31 other people, and the Lions were up at 18. And I was looking at who they're going to take, because obviously I have a lot of respect, a lot of love for the Lions. And who do you think they took? Bijan Robinson. Just a random dude who was the Lions in this league. Took Bijan. Brad Holmes. I'm not going to tell him what to do. I mean, look where he's at. He's transformed the Lions from going from a joke to legit a Super Bowl level team next season. I mean, the Lions were ranked, was it 14th or 11th? I think they were 11th. Yeah, the Lions they came in at 11th in power rankings, and that's before free agency when they have a lot of cap and before they have those 2 first-round picks. After that, they'll definitely be in the top 10. It's unfortunate that they did get off to that slow start, but I feel like that only helped them. But to this point, I'm rambling. I'm excited to see an offense led by Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, this offensive line, Bijan Robinson, Swift, and Williams integrating in. I mean, the Lions, if they have the number 1 ranked offense, do you truly think they're not going to make a playoff run? It's not like they have the 30th ranked defense. I mean, the Lions defense, I'd say right now, is pretty solid. It's pretty average. And Brad Holmes is a magician in the mid-round. So early on, Holmes, if he hits on those, I mean, we could be talking about a dynasty. Like, we could be talking about the Lions legitimately winning multiple Super Bowls in the next, 6-7 seasons. But that's why they need to get Bijan Robinson, because he's an absolute game changer. To whereas, a Tyree Wilson or a Trenton Sims, like, we just don't know if these guys are going to be game changers. They'll definitely be of value, but are they going to be superstars? No. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Bijan is coming in as legitimately an elite running back. The moment he takes the field for the Lions and gets his first career handoff, he's an elite running back. That's the type of player that he is. That's the type of confidence that I have. And I'm really hoping Brad Holmes takes him. And sure, if you want to trade back, 24, 25, 26 range and get him, do it. I don't care. That's fine if you want more assets. But I'm not sold on taking a corner at 18 or taking an edge rusher. I'm not, man. Now, number 6 in the draft, obviously you're you go defense there. You're not convincing me to take anyone offensively. And again, unless it's CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. If CJ Stroud is there at 6, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't take him, because I mean, CJ Stroud has Joe Burrow superstar potential. I just love it. First round, you've got to get potential, man. Mid rounds, find guys who fit your culture, fit your scheme, who can obviously Malcolm Rodriguez and James Houston. I mean, James Houston actually wasn't he undrafted? He wasn't even on the original 53-man roster. So a lot of you can see a lot of these guys legitimately weren't expected to do much, and they did. So yeah, Holmes. I want to look up the Lions' first round picks the past couple of seasons. Detroit Lions first round picks last 10 years. That makes sense. Let's see how. And again, Holmes hasn't been here for 10 years, but let's take a look at who they've been drafting. So Aiden Hutchinson was a smash hit, but being real, any GM would have taken Aiden Hutchinson second for the Lions. Still don't know how he didn't go to Jacksonville. Kind of absurd, but Penei Sewell, you guys took him over Fields, which I would say worked out, because you ended up getting, if you don't make that Goff trade, you don't have the 6th pick and you don't have the 2nd and you don't have these future picks. Clearly a smash hit. Sewell is a Pro Bowler. Jeff Okudah, who took number 3 back in 2020. Injuries have kind of held him out. I mean, that wasn't a good pick, but I still have a ton of faith in Okudah. In 2019, T.J. Hawkinson, who is, Pro Bowl tight end. You can't even hate on that. T.J. Hawkinson's one of the best tight ends in the league. Frank Ragnow, 2018, Pro Bowl type of center. 2017 was Jared Davis. I have no idea who that is. Gerard Davis, I think it might be. Taylor Decker in 2016, very good tackle. Laken Tomlinson, no idea who that is. Actually, sounds somewhat familiar, but I don't know. Honestly don't know too much about him. Eric Ebron. Oh yeah, that's right. Ebron was with the Lions. I completely forgot about that. I'm glad I pulled this up. I never would have thought of that, because he was with the Steelers and then the Colts. Yeah, he was a Lion. He had huge drop issues for them. Well, probably for everyone, being real with you. But I'm completely off topic here, basically. But yeah, I wanted to make this video because I want to hear your guys' thoughts about Bijan Robinson. I already touched upon this, but I'm all in. I am all in on the Lions bringing in Bijan Robinson and continuing to build this already elite level offense.